So this may be part of an interesting project which I'm considering building a streaming machine, maybe to sort of say offload some of the stuff on my main computer. Not that I think I really need it. My computer's pretty powerful, but if I build like a basic 6-core with this spare motherboard, well, it pretty much is a spare motherboard. I've got it back under warranty and everything else. So at this point, I can use it for whatever purpose I want to use it for, which I might repurpose it either to be a machine that I'm going to sell with a decent graphics card and everything else and all the other stuff in it. And I don't know, I'll see. I'll see what I can fit into it. I put this in my niece's computer yesterday because she was having some problems. She was trying to run Minecraft with very basic graphics, which I originally put in her computer. Well, my sister actually ended up buying the tower that I had for sale. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. What do you want to run on? And I said, well, she said Minecraft. And I went, well, this should be okay for it. But apparently this was not suitable for the situation. It worked, but it was extremely lagmatic, really. Just a lot of lag issues. So what I did is I got this. Well, I gave her an eBay link and I said, go and pick this up on eBay. Wasn't too badly priced. I'm not exactly sure what she got it for, but I mean, it wasn't overly too badly priced. It's got 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory. Considering what it is, it's got HDMI, DVI, and it's got basically like VGA port. So it had all that on it. Wasn't too bad in the sense of performance. It was a GeForce GT 730. Okay, it's not the best card in the world, but it's not the worst either. To be able to do Minecraft and everything else, I thought it would be fine, and might be able to do a couple extra games as well. So I thought it wasn't too bad. I put that in her computer yesterday. I haven't heard back from my sister. She hasn't said anything to me yet about any issues. If she does come back to me with any issues, that's alright. I can have a look at the computer anyway. But as far as I know, this seems to be doing its job. So not too bad. It's a GT 730. I figured, I mean, at the end of it, it was for Minecraft. Even with Minecraft with a couple of mods and stuff, it was just for Minecraft. It wasn't for anything else, so I didn't think that she was going to need anything that was going to be major in it. This was a friend of my dad's, his computer. The problem is that the keyboard, okay, aside from the keyboard, which that obviously needs replacing because there's a key missing, there's also the other issue of the CD-ROM in here not actually working. I've tried to boot off the external CD-ROM, which has not yielded any results, unfortunately, because I haven't been able to actually boot it back into Windows and get everything working. I've disassembled the system as well because I needed to give it a bit of a clean and a dust on the inside just to make sure there wasn't anything wrong there, and that's what I did. I had to give it a bit of a clean and a dust, and I put it back together. And I also checked to make sure the connector on the CD-ROM and everything else was connected correctly, and no, it's completely stuffed. There's just, as I said, from what I can tell, the CD-ROM itself is working fine. No, sorry, correct me. The CD-ROM itself is not working fine. The RAM and everything else, like the internal components of the computer, processor and such, appear to be pretty functional. As I said, I think the things that it mainly needs to be replaced is the CD-ROM and the keyboard. But this was a free job that I was doing for my dad. It would cost probably, I'm looking at about maybe $50 for the keyboard, and I don't know, maybe like $50 for the CD-ROM. Now, as I said, that's what would be required for it. Is it worth fixing? I would probably fix it depending on if it was a client or not, but as I said, it was a freebie job. I can't do much if it's a freebie job because it's only the parts that I have on hand, which I don't have a massive amount of spare parts for this particular type of laptop. It's a HP. I don't know, I mean, it might be worth fixing in that sense, you know, if you're going to do it maybe for resale, I don't know. But in the sense of repair, and it's a freebie job, the work I'd have to put into it, because I probably have to put in about an hour's worth of work or so, just to replace everything. I mean, most of the time, most of my stuff would be just waiting for the parts to arrive, pretty much. You got an hour's worth of work, and then you got the cost of the parts. Now that's why I have to charge them, because as I said, even though it's printed my dad's, I was trying to get out of it doing it cheaply. Which, okay, this system seemed to be working pretty fine. I tried upgrading to Windows 10. It did seem to work for a short period of time. And then I had a problem with Windows 10 blue screening in the middle. It didn't actually blue screen. It sort of just did this weird ass thing where it didn't activate properly and didn't do anything properly. Now, could have been the previous version of Windows, possibly. It did have Windows 7 on it, which I don't know whether it was related to that or something else in the system, maybe. I changed the RAM out just to make sure. But the problem is, okay, but by the time I add all the costs up, so I know I can get a Windows license for this, a Windows 10 license for it for $20 online. I mean, it's not exactly $20, it's like €20 or something like that. No, it's less than 20. Well, it's something. It's equivalent of like $40 Australian or something, probably something like that. So it's like $40, right? So $40 for the OS, $50 for the CD-ROM, $50 for the keyboard in most cases, depending on the keyboard and where you get it from. Might be $29 for the keyboard, I don't know, it just depends on where you buy it from on eBay. Then an hour's worth of labour, which my average labour cost is $75 an hour, so 1 hour worth of labour, so 75 plus 50 plus 50 plus 40 for the OS. That's pretty much what you'd be looking at. And by the time you add all that up in retrospective cost, it's not really, it wouldn't be a freebie job. I mean, as I said, like, I was trying to do it cheap for my dad, I was trying to do it better. I mean, at this point, it's not worth me saying to them that they should go out and do the upgrades and everything else. I mean, it's not a bad laptop, but he's got a brand new one. Like, at the moment, he's got a brand new one down there. He's got a new Dell, and this is it's an AMD Trinian, which, I mean, to be honest, okay, at the end of it, I guess if you're going to resell something like this, it might be worth it. Like, depending on how much you wanted the resale value, being a second-hand laptop and everything else. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you bought the parts over time and you bought them as cheaply as you possibly could, then you probably have a pretty good resale value on it in that sense. But if I'm just doing it for somebody and just, you know, I mean, at the end of it, it's not worth my time and effort, especially when I know that it's a freebie job. I'm not going to get paid the hourly rate. All right, at the end of it. Now, as I said, I don't take 1 hour to fix, like, you know, as I said, it is a general thing, but the only thing I'd have to wait for is the parts themselves, and of course the install of the OS and everything else, and of course the cost of the license, now, which I know I can get licenses online relatively cheap from different places, so yeah. So it's sort of, it's a catch-22 thing with that, I would want to fix it, but, as I said, I'd have to charge something for it. I mean, I simply couldn't do it for free. Which is okay, but as I said, my dad was trying to get out of it as cheaply as they possibly could. So, I mean, look at the end of it, I'm just going to say that it's probably better off investing in another laptop, maybe, or possibly investing in something else for the, you know, maybe something a little newer. They might be able to get like a cheap $200, $300 laptop that probably do the same job, pretty much. And I mean, they're in the old age bracket, so I mean, they don't necessarily need anything really fancy. At the same time, this isn't really fairly fancy, but it had a few bits and pieces of Spyro, I think, initially on it when I scanned it, but most of that stuff seemed to be gone. But at this point, it's just, as I said, because I'm doing it for free, I wouldn't really recommend it trying to muck around with it or repair it. If I was doing it for, you know, a reason to get it repaired, and I was getting the money back on it, yeah, sure, I'd say it's worth it. But, given the age of it, I mean, it's not that old, but I mean, it's not that new either. Given the age of it, I think, and with them, the fact that they've got a new Dell, I think they've also got a couple of, they've got a couple other devices there anyway, but yeah, he was also having a problem with last time I was down there, I think he had a problem with his internet, if I remember correctly. What was it? Oh my god, I'm just trying to think now. That's right. He had a problem with his internet, which was what was it related to? The problem he had with his internet was that pretty much you had to reset the NBN router because the NBN router after a while lost its speed, its original speed it was on, which, you know, that's going to happen. One second. Update Google Chrome relaunch. But yeah, pretty much that. Those are the couple of things I've been doing over the last few weeks. I've been waiting for that to come back from RAM return. The new, well, I don't think it's new. I think it's actually a reconditioned motherboard by the looks of it. It's got a couple of little scuff marks here and there. Nothing too major, but I can tell that it's not brand new. But I can understand that because I've had the original motherboard 2.5 years. So, you know, at the end of it, I can understand them replacing it with something that's reconditioned, which that doesn't really bother me. As long as it functions the way I expect it to, that's cool. I pointed out the problems and the issues I was having with some of the memory profiles and stuff, and pointed out some of the blue screens I was having as well. And I made that abundantly clear on the Scorptech notes that I left to the technician in question. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Now, aside from that, I also got a memory card replaced on the warranty as well. This memory card in question was a 64GB. Sorry, my internet is running slow because of my wonderful factor that I'm uploading videos. It was a 64GB ProMaster or something like that. It was something along those lines. Anyway, my point is, the guy tested it and he has posted me out a replacement. So at this point, I'm waiting for the replacement card to arrive in the mail. We will see when it gets here. We'll see what happens. Well, it should be okay. As I said, he tested the other one. He said he posted off a replacement. I'm like, okay, cool. You posted off a replacement. Great, cool, wonderful. That's great. He pretty much at this point, I'm just waiting for that to arrive in the mail. So we will see how long that takes. It might take a couple of days. Never know. He's tested it. He said he tested it, and he's mailed me off a replacement basically. So we'll see when it arrives. In between that, what else have I been? I mean, aside from that, I haven't been doing a major amount of stuff. I've done a little bits and pieces with computers. I've mostly been relaxing because my ailments are acting up a bit because of winter, and I haven't been feeling 100% to be honest. So that's sort of another reason. There's also my dad's new freezer that he got, which wasn't overly expensive. Nice freezer actually. I thought it was pretty good anyway. Nice freezer. Not bad. I've been mucking around with it. A couple of bits and pieces, I guess. Well, it's good now. Well, it's a plus side we got it is, I guess, because if I want frozen, put frozen meals and stuff in there. We've got more room than we do. Well, we have a lot of room in this freezer. We do have a fair amount of stuff in this freezer, as you can see. We always like to make sure we've got plenty of stuff in the freezers. But don't mind the mess. I need to do a bit of dishwashing and such and things of that nature. So, which I will at some point. What time is it? I don't know. It's like 9 AM, so I probably won't do it till maybe middle of the day or something. I'll probably give the counter a bit of a clean up, but I won't do the dishes till later on in the day. Until I'm in the mood, I sort of need to wake up a little more. And I'm doing my videos and stuff. I sort of need other stuff to focus on anyway. And eventually they'll get to the point where they're going to annoy me, and I'll just have to do them anyway. So we got that. AMD Trinian. I mean, pretty much at this point, I've been doing a few things. I've got my computer working the way I want it to work, which is great. You can see in the corner there, there's my sound card, which I'm not sure whether I'll put on. Well, I can use it as a spare sound card anyway. I might just keep it there anyway for the time being, but that sound card is basically. It was a gaming sound card, but the sound card that I've got on my new motherboard is pretty sufficient at the moment. It's actually about the same, probably not exactly the same decibels as that one, probably around the same decibels. in the sense of inputs and outputs of the ampage and stuff, because you can change the amp chips on it if you choose to on my new motherboard. In between that board there is going to be repurposed. I'm going to say that I probably might make it into a streaming machine. I don't know, but if I'm going to do anything, I'll get a 6-core AMD processor, probably 6300 AMD FX. Put that in there, and I'll sort of run it off as being one of the streaming machines or a streaming machine of some type. Might make things a little easier for me in some ways when I'm doing streaming, just have a dedicated machine that does that specifically and that only that. Thinking about it. Not sure at this point. I mean, I obviously I'd have to invest in other stuff for the streaming machine as well, like an extra hard drive for storage space and stuff like that, and maybe an SSD and things. I mean, there's certain things I probably want to put into a streaming machine, in particular, that would include extras that would probably, make the system a bit more substantial. The other thing I can do is make my Workbench machine a 6-core, which, I mean, as I said, I've currently got a dual core in there at the moment. I'm contemplating whether I should build that machine up to be the Workbench machine, sort of Workbench maybe / sort of streaming machine, and put it there. The other thing I was thinking of doing is maybe selling this machine how it currently is. I mean, I don't know, or maybe today. I don't know. It all depends on what I want to do, because I know that board's pretty big. So if I'm going to put it into a case or any type of case that's going to be for gaming purposes, it's going to have to be for gaming purposes. It's going to have to be a gaming machine. Now that board, I'd say I'm going to reuse it as probably either a gaming machine or possibly something of that nature. I don't know at this point. I'm sort of trying to decide which direction I'm going to go with it, but we will see. We'll see at the end. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube, and catch you. Bye.